Welcome to Provisional, the podcast. Previously a recruiting manager and now as your host, my name is Amanda Oink. Joining us today, we have Bryan Brem of Egnyte. Perfect. And then have you done a podcast before?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So I run one with my fiance, but it's really crass and a lot of not appropriate humor.
Of course, yeah.
So this one, that's going to be super loud for us. So let me turn that off too. But yeah, so we will be pretty straightforward on here though.
Sure.
I'm going to turn off those. Okay, so I already did our intro and everything like that, so really we can just dive into it. Do you mind if I use your first and last name?
Doesn't matter to me. No.
Okay, so today joining us, we have Bryan Brem. You work with Egnyte right next door to our office. So give us an idea of what your day-to-day is and what you do over there.
So I'm a sales development manager, so I've got a team of about 8 folks at the moment. Most of my team is really trying to generate interest and introduce our platform to the life sciences industry, biotech, which is pharmaceuticals, medical device, medical diagnostic companies, manufacturing companies. And we're really just trying to understand where they're at, what they're struggling with as they're trying to transition through all the drug development stages, and where we can come in and help, and how we've helped people that look exactly like them in the past.
Awesome. And then as far as that goes too, is it a software that Egnyte is running for these companies? Or
Absolutely,
kind of
yeah. It's an app. It's a cloud storage app for businesses, basically. So it's cloud storage with security, governance, and compliance, full auditing capabilities, more than you could ever dream of needing, built straight into the platform.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then how do people find you? Like what, I mean, is that, what kind of outreach do you guys do?
So we'll take any comers. So we've got a really strong marketing and demand gen department. I've got a very close partnership with a handful of folks on the demand generation team and the marketing team that do a lot. A lot of different events, a lot of different outreach as far as trying to get collateral material into the hands of our prospects first so they can read that, and then we capture their contact information in some sense. That's a slice of what we do. And then, for the people on my team, the majority of what our day-to-day is cold outreach for the most part. And so, we will identify our ideal customer profile. So we'll identify companies that we have solved issues for in the past, and then we'll go out and build a list of companies that look like them. They just don't know who Egnyte is yet. They don't know who we are. And so we'll cold outreach to them. We'll cold email them, cold call them. The reps on my team have a cold call quota of about 80 a day, which, depending on your apps that your company leverages, could be easy or time consuming to hit. Fair. And for the apps that we leverage, we try. I think people can talk about prospecting and use 2 different words. They can use the word consistent. We try and prospect consistently. Well, you can prospect one person a day consistently. Yeah. You've executed on consistency, but you surely haven't reached out to very many people.
Exactly.
What our sales development team is transitioning to in 2022 is a constant state of prospecting. So we are, if there's 8, 9, 10 plus hours in a business day, we're going to be constantly prospecting, and it takes that level of focus and control of your calendar, time management, organization to hit really the KPIs that my team hits. They're incredible. They do a really good job.
That's awesome. And that is very demanding work to do.
Yeah. Day in and I think a lot of people can do it a lot of people can do it on Monday and Tuesday.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Wednesday,
from the start.
Thursday, Friday. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard.
Exactly.
You know?
You're doing it every single day. And are your guys' hours pretty strict? Obviously, Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week. Do you go over that?
You know, gosh, if there's, let's say, let's say that somebody works an 8-hour day. I'd say, maybe between 5 and 6, 5 and 6 hours of that, I'd say, are what a sales trainer that I've stolen a lot of my stuff from, called the Sandler, the Sandler sales methodology. What they call your kind of your golden hours, or your money hours. You're the hours where you directly interact with a prospect. Those are pretty set. Our prospects tell us when those hours are. Those are the hours that they pick up the phone.
That's awesome.
And we have to call them during the hours that they pick up the phone.
You have that moment to hit them.
Administrative time, go nuts. Do whatever you want. I was in the position for 12 months. That's actually the position that Provisional placed me in. Is that position, right? I did it for 12 months, made, 10,000 plus cold dials myself that first year. Yeah. The administration time, the remaining 3, 4, 5 hours, I mean, it depends on that goes as long as you want. That's your prep time for tomorrow. How warm do you want that? It doesn't have to be cold, right? How warm do you want that dial to be? Well, you decide that in the amount of prep time that you devote to tomorrow. You can do that whenever. Yeah. You can. I would do it watching the game. I'd do it watching a Dallas Mavericks game at night. I can have the game on, especially a football. Get out. There's 13 minutes of literal play time in a 3-hour football game. Yes. Pop your computer open. Prep for Monday. Yeah. Why not? What else is going on?
I love it. Well, and that's kind of, I mean, I know a lot of people in sales. I obviously did some form of sales with Provisional. So yeah, definitely. I mean, the certain hours that you're plugging away and you're getting those people to open up to your company and open up to the idea, and then also prepping yourself. Yeah. Makes your work week so much smoother.
My gosh, it doesn't really have to be as hard.
No, not at all.
As we make it. Yeah.
And as far as that goes too, so obviously a good work-life balance that you have.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Sure. We're all masters of work-life balance.
I am just learning that balance. We just threw a kid into the mix. So that's definitely balancing that out at the beginning is very interesting.
Good luck.
Thank you. So as far as that goes too, we'll kind of touch on how you got with Provisional in the first place.
Sure. Yeah. It's a fun story. How I got with Provisional. Yeah.
And were you already in Spokane when you found Provisional, did you just move here?
I was at a different recruiting. Let me dive into it.
No, you can totally dive into it.
So I was at a recruiting agency across town. Literally right down the street, 3 or 4 blocks away. And I had no concept of the recruiting agencies before. I had leveraged them before, certainly in the past. This particular place had placed me at a different place in town. I was at that company for 12, 15 months, something like that, as a nonprofit, local nonprofit. It's a great organization. Whenever my time there was done, I went back to the recruiting agency. I said, hey, let's roll with the next one. Who do you guys have that you like for me? Yeah. And they're like, we like us for you. We like come work with us, right? Let's try it. Let's go nuts. I went to, I don't remember how long I was there, 4 years ago or something like that. I was there for a bit, and I went to here at the convention center or some big building local like that. Some kind of job fair or whatever. And so I'm walking, and we have the company I was at, we had a booth there, and Provisional had a booth there, and I'm walking. It was the strangest thing. I'm walking the aisles of this job fair, and I see their booth. Maybe I was familiar with them at the time, that they were maybe local competitors or whatever. Sure. I don't remember that I was, but maybe. And I'm walking by, and and there was a lady that was working at the booth, Kelly, and she was like, "Hey, how's it going? What do you?" I don't remember what she opened with. I don't remember. Whatever Eric coached her on, I'm sure. Sure.
Whatever
sure
skill we were using.
Quite strict on that. But, and I might have said, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. Right?
Yeah.
And boom, she launched right into it.
I love it. Wait, is it Kelly with the...
I think Roland, maybe? ROWALAND.
Oh my gosh, I am blanking
She
so hard.
had dark hair.
Yes, that is Kelly.
I might have messed up her last name.
No, you're fine. That's her. I know her by her married name.
Okay.
Which has changed now.
Okay.
But yes, she's awesome. She's
My
so
gosh,
sweet.
just slid. Well, just not a care in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
About where I came from, it was only about which is all sales development is. Yeah. What do you need in this moment, right now? Yeah. What do you need? And I was like, I guess I need to understand what else is out there, even though I have a booth right over here that's my employer, right? And I'm here with other people. And she introduced me right to Eric right there. And so I spoke with Eric, I spoke with Kelly for a moment, and I said, well, I don't remember what I said. Yeah. I'll pretend I said, I gotta get back to work, guys. So I'm here on business. So maybe I went back to doing whatever I was doing, and I think it was maybe 3 or 4, I don't remember, 3 or 4 weeks later, I went up to the owner of that company, and I said, gosh, this it's just not right. This place is just not right for me in particular. Yeah. It's a cool place. I really like the folks that live here, or excuse me, the folks that work here. That's subconscious, but it's just not right. I got to go see what. And Kelly and Eric immediately. I called them next day. I called them next day and had a handful of interviews with Eric and. Gosh, I think I was at Provisional for, I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, something like that. And gosh, what a great group of people. And Eric, oh my gosh, he cracks me up. It's just
Eric, who works in the back.
Well, that was my off. That was where we were back there, right? We had such a good time, and it just kind of, I know it was, and I should have reiterated something before we started. In my family, growing up, if you wanted to say something, you interrupt. Yeah. And that's how it is. We're constant state of interrupters. At any moment, I've done it like 7 or 8 times so far. Any moment, I'm just like, okay, it's going on. Interrupt me, cut me off. For sure. And so it's 6 or 8 months in, he and I are working together in that back room and just really trying to figure out how do we do this thing that he hasn't tried to do before. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I could not kind of earn my seat there, right? I couldn't really bring in the value that I needed to really maintain my place in Provisional because everybody else was so successful there, right? And so there was a different Kelly that was literally on the other side of the wall. They have those windows in the office between the walls. She's on the other side, and she's like, well, we've got a position at a tech company, sales development rep. It's ground floor for tech sales, which I'd never done before in that moment. Go check it out. And that was at this point, multiple titles ago at this point, and all the rest that comes with it. 3.5 years ago at this point. That's so crazy. It's crazy.
And did you voice to them that you were feeling the way you were feeling, and that's how it presented itself?
Eric came over and said, do you provide value here? I'm trying to figure. No, I'm just joking.
Which I feel like he would, though. He definitely approaches new people all the time, very interestingly.
Brian, I'm looking at you 6 ways from Sunday, and I can't. You might provide value, but gosh, it's hard to find. we had a handful of conversations around it, how, because you have got to, sales development is it's so simple, but it is not easy.
No.
It's not easy. And the first thing that you really have to do, I think, and if I could go back, I'd do it so incredibly differently. And a coach that I have, who's also my dad, he's been in tech sales for decades. At this point, he works for Cisco Systems at the moment, managing a group of enterprise account executives out of EMEA. And, one of the first things he said is, listen, we can put the cart before the horse sometimes. You have got to first sit down with satisfied provisional customers. And you've got to say, what do they look like? How do I duplicate them into a prospect list? And
that's awesome advice.
How do you, I don't know what to say. What do you, mentor or whoever's helping me, what do I say to them? You don't say a freaking word to them. You share the gospel that is your satisfied customers and what they have to say about you. Nobody cares what a salesperson has to say about his boss that is paying him a check. Nobody cares. They want to hear, what have you done for people that look like me, right? Because maybe you can deliver that for me.
Exactly.
And we're gonna have a conversation about that. Yeah.
And that's also kind of gets you a little bit more personable than just having that, the constant flow of having the same thing that you say all the time.
Yes.
And that doesn't come off as warm.
No.
That can definitely throw someone off right at the bat.
It's called an elevator pitch.
Yes.
Because is there anywhere that I least want to get into a conversation with somebody than an elevator? I wouldn't see the point. We're getting off into different floors, right? Literally and figuratively. But it's called an elevator pitch because have it, sure, have it in the chamber if you need it. Yeah. If somebody's like, okay, what do you do? What is it that you get? Give me the sum up again. Quick. Yeah. Other than that, you better be leveraging data, what you ROI for your most satisfied customers. That if a company's got 100 customers, you only have, let's say, 50 that you want to duplicate. 50 are like they're not keeping my lights on, right? Yeah. There's a 50 that you want to duplicate, and before you call anybody, don't spend a lot of time on this because you can get stuck here. What is it? It's paralysis by analysis, but you can get stuck there. Don't stay there for very long, but you better do some analysis. Fair. Or you're going to get on, and my boss calls it, there's a video that's hundreds of millions of views, whatever, where this little kid's being interviewed on a news network, and they go to him, what are you having fun at the fair or whatever? And he gets on, I like turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, he likes turtles. You get on a call and you might have an I like turtles moment.
Exactly.
Unless you've got something to share, right? It's quite specific.
Yeah, very fair. No, I like all of these little analogies. These are great.
Oh my gosh, I wanted to start with that. I wanted to say we really should keep an analogies counter because my sales team and my bosses are like, are you a master at analogies? Drew's not in. Unsure. But you sure can fit in a whole lot of them in a very limited amount of time. And I've got an analogy around that one as well.
Oh my God, I love it. No, I like it. I can definitely have our editor let me know how many are in there.
Right.
But that, I love it all. And then as far as staying with Egnyte and enjoying that company, do you have any plans on sticking with them? I know that Dallas, Texas is kind of a place in mind.
Sure, yeah. No, and Egnyte would fully support me going to Dallas and working remote. They wouldn't care in the world.
That's really cool.
Of my 8 people on my sales team at the moment, only one's local. All the rest, okay. I've got Boston people, I've got LA people, Seattle, San Francisco. So yeah, I only have one person that's local. So where I would, but no, I love Egnyte. We aren't who we will be, but we are way different than who we used to be. And I've been here for so many different iterations over the last 3.5 years of what Egnyte is, particularly in our sales development department, which is the one department I care about. It consumes enough, So I got to see this thing through to the end,
That's awesome.
And I've got my sales team depends on me to be there, right?
Yeah.
They might not love or even like me at times. Neither do those closest to me that are outside of work, but I wouldn't hand them off to anybody else. I wouldn't trust anybody else to coach them, and it's such, my gosh, it's hard. It is so hard. You can anybody can bark at anybody else, right? Anybody can, and talk to the first sales team that I managed at Egnyte for that first month. That's all I did. Yeah. I said, guys, I did this job for 12 months right next to you. I did. This is what I did, and I did it all the time. Why can't you do this, right? Yeah. I was there for a month, and you see so quickly how ineffective it is, right? And it's like, well, and so a mentor of mine handed me a book called Leaders Eat Last, about a month into me taking this position, and it was like, of course you treat them like adults, right? Of course you treat them like human beings. My God, it's.
And that says a lot about your character as far as, being a leader, and reaching out for resources to make you better at what you're doing, especially for your team. So, and then growing that team and putting all of that effort into it also, just goes to lengths. And so,
I think so.
Obviously, as you've shown those people and you've cared into this team, I don't blame you for wanting to see it to the end. That would be that's so much work and effort to put into your own box.
Yeah. And it's,
so I get it.
It's Egnyte's a company that we're really getting to a stage where some important transitions could be, over the next 12, 24 months, whatever. That's outside of my pay grade, but figuring that stuff out. But and gosh, well, why would you leave a team before they go and win the Super Bowl? That wouldn't make any sense. What are you in this for?
Exactly.
Right? If you would take off at this stage,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. And that's great that you found a company too. And it's even better that Provisional obviously lent a hand in that. Yeah. But I think that pretty much wraps up what we wanted to touch on. So thank you for joining us.
Of course.
You're our second episode. So.
Oh, that's incredible. That's awesome.
So this should be really fun. And I know Eric will be excited to listen to it too. So.
Of course. Well, I appreciate you guys.
But yeah, we appreciate you.
And I love that you're. I was blown away whenever he said we're some of my favorite people at my favorite company next door. Check.
Awesome.
With a whiskey bar on the first floor.
Yes,
get out of here.
Exactly. It's all the great,
Christmas
perfect things.
Every day, right?
I love that so much. I know. I was really excited that when they moved over here, it's such a cool building, such a cool location.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially with everyone that works in that office, I feel like it's a good spot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't... I always felt like we were kind of out of the downtown area, even though we were on the cusp of it. It was just the type of team we are. We're all so integrated with each other that I always thought this would be a way more fun location for them.
Oh, yeah. I think it will be for you guys. Yeah.
I think so, too. Well, thank you again.
Of course, thank you.
I really appreciate having you on and talking about Egnyte and your position.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know when it's posted and everything, too.
Okay.
So if you want to share it with anyone.
Cool. Thank you.
And we'll go from there.
Okay.
Awesome.